All right, let's just jump right in. If you write code for a living, you need to pay attention because we are right on the edge of a massive shift in how we do our jobs. And no, I'm not just talking about AI helping us write code a little bit faster. This is way bigger. We're talking about a fundamental change to the entire development process, a brand new discipline called Agentic Engineering. Just think about this for a second. What if you could give an AI a task, and instead of it just handing you back a chunk of code to deal with, it actually writes the code, then runs it, sees if it works, and if it breaks, it just tries again, and keeps trying until it gets it right. See, that's the difference. This isn't just about getting a helping hand. It's about true autonomy. It's a whole new kind of partnership.
So what's the name for this whole new way of working? Well, the term that's really starting to stick is Agentic Engineering. And it's super important to think of this as a real discipline, you know? It's got its own rules, its own best practices, and it's built from the ground up for professional software developers.
And really, the magic here boils down to two words: generate and execute. Think about it. Most of the AI tools we use today, they only do the first part. They generate code. The absolute game changer here is giving that agent the power to execute the code it just wrote. That's what creates this incredible feedback loop where it can test, learn, and fix its own mistakes completely on its own. This slide really nails a super important distinction. On one side, you've got this idea of vibe coding. You know, where maybe a non-programmer tells an AI, make me a website that feels cool, and they don't really care what the code looks like underneath. Well, Agentic Engineering is the exact opposite of that. It's systematic, it's test-driven, it's for professionals who want to amplify the skills they already have, not just ignore the details. Okay, so if this is a whole new discipline, then we're going to need a playbook, right? We need to figure out what actually works, and that is exactly what programmer Simon Willison is doing. He's decided to create a structured collection of all the emerging best practices for this brand new field. And I love his goal here because, in his own words, it's just so practical. This isn't some high-minded academic theory. It's all about answering the one question that every single one of us is asking right now. How do I actually get good results out of this stuff? That's it. This project is meant to be the single place you go to for that answer.
Now, to really get the scale of what he's trying to do, you have to understand the inspiration. He's modeling it after the legendary Design Patterns book from 1994. If you're a developer, you know this book. It was an absolute cornerstone that gave us all a shared language and proven solutions to common problems. So, by drawing that comparison, Willison is basically saying, I want to create something just as fundamental, but for the age of AI.
All right, so let's move from the what to the how. What do these new patterns actually look like in practice? Well, the first couple of chapters are already out and they cut right to the chase. So the first one is called Writing Code is Cheap Now, and it makes you rethink everything. I mean, if that initial draft of code is basically free, where do we as humans provide the value? Then the second pattern is Red-Green TDD, and this is brilliant. It uses the classic test-driven development idea, which is a perfect fit for AI agents. You just write a test that you know is going to fail, that's the red part. Then you hand it over to the agent and say, your only job is to make this test pass. And when it does, it turns green. It's such a simple, elegant way to give the AI a very clear target. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but is it just a cool idea, or is this something real and powerful that you can actually use today? Well, the answer comes with this fantastic little meta twist.
Okay, think about the website itself, the platform where he's publishing all these patterns. Someone had to build that, right? So how do you think the guy writing the manual on agentic engineering decided to build his own website?
And there's your answer. The platform he used to publish the patterns was built using the patterns. An AI agent, in this case Claude Opus, wrote almost all of the code. And here's the kicker, he did it from his iPhone, an iPhone. I mean, come on, that is the ultimate proof of concept right there.
So this is the key takeaway, really. Agentic engineering isn't some science fiction idea about the future. It is a powerful, practical tool that's being used to build real things right now. This whole practice of dogfooding, using your own product to build your own product, it's the best possible proof that this stuff actually works.
And look, this project didn't just appear out of thin air. It's the result of him formally structuring a massive amount of knowledge that he's built up over more than 350 blog posts about AI-assisted programming. So this is really the culmination of years of hands-on experimentation, all being organized into a practical guide that we can all use. So this all leaves us with a really big, fascinating question, doesn't it? If the act of just writing the code is becoming cheap or even free, then what's the new core skill for an engineer?
Is it being amazing at defining a problem? Is it about designing the overall system architecture? Or maybe it's about being able to write that one perfect test that guides the AI to the perfect solution. Honestly, that's the puzzle we all have to start figuring out.